When using the Pomodoro technique, it is important to set a timer. I set mine for about 15 minutes. Hello everyone, this is John, and you are looking at the beautiful landscape that is the financial center of Manila here in the Philippines. And today, well, it's time to continue work on a comic book that I've been invited to work on, a short story for an anthology by, that's me right there. And the anthology is called Wildcat. It is by C.B.Smallwood. It's his epic character. We all get to play in his universe and make a little story about it. And in this episode, I'd like to show you the pages I've been working on and some new things I've been trying out on social media, just testing the waters here and there, different sites. And if you stick around, I might even show you some of the sights and sounds of some of the different neighborhoods here in Manila that I got to visit. So to give you a little recap of the story that I've been working on, because I'm not intimately familiar with the background story of Wildcat, I decided to treat it more like an X-file, a Bigfoot sighting, if you will, of the man himself. So people have encountered Wildcat, there's an investigation going on the ground, word gets out in Washington that this might be something they might have to pay attention to because it relates to something that they've been doing, and so there's different investigations going on, and so I'm trying to get that across in just 8 pages. So the page I'm working on right now, this is, let me just look that up, page 5. So page 5 initially, because you know I was trying to get my head wrapped around this idea of having the investigation behind the investigation leak through and overcomplicating things. So I initially had 2 pages of exposition, and I didn't think they were particularly exciting because I haven't written a script and all the dialogue isn't pinned down. I wasn't quite sure where this was going, and so I decided to take a step back and just cram the 2 pages of these experiments being done on this person that is or may become Wildcat or has something to do with him, and just try to, I don't know, I just wanted to have a single page where this would all be clear, and just have a bit of fun and just get some fun drawings together in a few panels and let them tell the story, or just kind of have your imagination latch onto them, you know? Like, you don't need to, like what I was trying to do before was really like lay it out. I figured if I just let the artwork tell that story and just hint at it, the reader will get it, and that way I'll still have enough of a mystery, you know, that X-File vibe, if you will. So as you can see here, even though this is all digital in Procreate on the iPad, I'm still sticking to a lot of the workflows and techniques I learned back in the day when I was doing my 100 Days of Making Comics and working on Phosphor, my own science fiction adventure comic. So I am still making sketches, and I'm using brushes that resemble pencil, and then I go over them and turn them into blue pencils, which are a little bit more concise, a little closer to what I want to get at, in order to take full advantage of working digital and save time, because of course I do have a full-time job and it does leave me burnt out a lot of the time. So like when I do have a whole day off to myself, sometimes I just kind of loosely sketch, keep it in blue so it doesn't conflict too much with the inks, and then I just try and, see if I can get lucky and just get something going in ink straight away. And one of the advantages, of course, working digitally is that if this doesn't work out, you can just undo and you can just erase, and you don't have to worry too much about tearing up the paper or having to start over from scratch, as you tend to do with actual inks. So what I find here is how to go about it when you're diving straight in with inks. I tend to have the same way of getting going that I do on paper, which is I'll just start, I just pretend like I have a really thin fine liner, something very thin to ink with, and I'll just start getting some black lines on the paper, some outlines that I know will probably have to be way thicker, but I just find to get over that hurdle of inking to begin, breaking the ice, if you will. If I just get something going on the page, it'll ease me into it a lot more later. And I find that it just kind of erases that fear a little bit. And maybe that doesn't make a lot of sense, because you can go back with Command Z, undo. But I just find that a lot of these bringing over a lot of these traditional attitudes into my digital prevents one of the pitfalls of working digital, which is constantly hitting undo and never being satisfied with the line that you put down. Traditionally, when you ink, there's that fear of screwing it up, and that's kind of a good fear to have sometimes, just as it can be a very good practice to, when you start on a page, you finish that page, even though somewhere along the line you keep making these mistakes, and some of these mistakes, you can't erase them, so how can you work around it? How can you make that page still look as best as you can, right? Yeah, so I find doing that digitally prevents a lot of nervous fiddling about, constantly going back until you get that exact line. It's not going to be perfect, you're going to screw up. Get something going on the page and then take it from there. That's my advice.
Sabi ko, ikaw nagsabi na walang exception na. Bakit ikaw hindi ka mag-test?
Ako nagpa-rapid test na ako eh. Rapid test.
Oo, talagang kailangan. Hindi dahil sa, siyempre, for peace of mind at lahat is safe.
Kaligtasan na rin ng
Oo.
karamihan.
We are currently traveling from Makati to BGC, a different part of the city, different part of the capital. It's not particularly far, but unfortunately, Manila has some of the worst traffic in the world. And so we've planned this little getaway around the weekend when things tend to quiet down in the financial district and some of the business centers of the capital. So we can kind of get to enjoy it for ourselves a little bit this weekend. This is definitely one of the more affluent neighborhoods, and to our surprise, that meant a lot of people going about their business as if there is no pandemic, almost. There's still a lot of regulation, of course, trying to get into restaurants, wearing multiple face masks and everything. But it was very nice being able to just go for a walk and pick and choose rather than takeaway. And what was our first choice? Well, it was just a quick lunch, really, or breakfast. We hadn't eaten yet. Also, check out this Korean sandwich at McDonald's. Let's check out the Korean McDonald's for breakfast. It's actually very good. I think that's actually my favorite McDonald's. There's a little bump. At the time of posting this video, things have eased up a lot more on the rules and regulations concerning the COVID pandemic. So it's a lot easier to move around town and outside of town, more importantly. So we're looking forward to some quick getaways in the near future. But at this time, at the end of May, things were still very much in lockdown. So the only thing we could really try and get away with was having little getaways within the city, so we didn't have to worry too much about, duplicate health certificates and all sorts of paperwork to get past the checkpoints. This little sketch of Amisha, one of the characters of Phosphor, my comic book, came about really just because Kyle T. Webster put out a free pack of paper textures to use. So I'll just put them up on the screen. They're pretty good, as you can see, and trying out some experiments with the standard Procreate pencil brushes. I think, this really made it feel like I was just drawing in my sketchbook. Meanwhile, continuing our little weekend getaway antics. We went to the Uptown Mall. It's like an upscale mall that is famous for alfresco dining on the rooftops. I think we saw Queen Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie, way back when, 2019. Yeah, it was a good time. And this time we're just gonna grab a bite to eat, have a little look at the skyline, see what's up.
Yeah, and then Japa juice on the way. Yeah, perfect. What's your favorite Japa juice? My favorite pick was peanut butter. Peanut butter roll.
Social distance inside that square. Oh, there's more outside. Oh, there's Starbucks, and let's go outside. They have a garden. Oh, wow.
Burger! I just wanted the wings. Serious. Just scratching. Right? Just having an attempt at making a big drawing and figuring out how TikTok does its videos. So far, I figured out that you can add music from a pre-approved library. I didn't know that. So the soundtrack I had playing in the background got blocked, which makes sense because that's what happens on good old YouTube. But because so many people seem to be dancing to songs, I didn't realize that would happen here as well. What else have I discovered? Well, you can upload your own videos, so you can just edit them yourself, which is clearly what a lot of people seem to be doing. I don't find it that easy to just search for people, especially because I don't want to look at people dancing. I just want to look at artists doing artistic things, and Instagram so far seems to be a bit easier for this. But you know, I'm just new to this social media platform, so I'll just have to poke around, find some cool people to follow to just kind of get my feed going. So let's see. In the meantime, so TikTok is not the only platform I've been having a second look at. I didn't realize I actually had like close to 800 followers on Instagram. I actually thought it was like 100, same as everywhere else. And so that's kind of interesting, I guess. Other platforms I've been looking at, I noticed that Crimson Owl was on Ko-fi, which is a Patreon-like app or site that allows people to go buy you a coffee. You know, make a small donation for things you're doing. So I set up a profile, and then I thought, like, well, to just make a donation, that's kind of boring. Why don't I look at some of the old commissions I tried to set up, and see if I could put that up there, because they seem to have a shop. So that worked, and that's cool. So if you're interested in getting a print, a digital print that is, check out my ko-fi.com/Yanimal. Right now I've got a Fantastic Four versus Aliens up there. I want to put the Spider-Man one up there. See how that goes. And just, you know, start promoting that a little bit here and there. Why not Patreon, you may ask? Because quite frankly, the messaging app, or the messaging communication side of Patreon, I ran into a lot of problems with that in the past with Ox, so I'm not a fan. And I also quite liked just trying out a different site and trying out on this different site, seeing what else is available. Like, it seems to want to be an all-in-one, like so people can buy you a coffee, so they can make donations. People can follow you. They can make monthly donations like Patreon. You can have a store like Etsy. You can do commissions like Fiverr. They really seem to want to try and be everything to all people. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's going to work. But I thought it'd be fun just trying it out, you know? Also, because most of the art I've been making has been on that beauty over there, the iPad, I don't actually know where most of my art supplies are, and these are definitely running out. So just having a little bit of carefree fun on a Saturday afternoon has already led me to realize a great many things about social media platforms. My art supplies are running out and are lost in the apartment somewhere. Yeah, lots of fun. Oh, this is gonna come off, right? Yeah, okay. And it's just, I have to say, it's just kind of fun just to be doodling. Nothing too serious, nothing comic book related. Just fun. Just trying stuff out. It's easy to forget that sometimes. So our little weekend in BGC is coming to an end. We managed to grab a little dinner at the end of the weekend with some friends, and yeah, check it out. This is Burgos Circle. We found a little Filipino restaurant, so I'll show you some of the amazing meals they have over here. It was at this point that our intrepid explorer started worrying about copyright strikes on the mighty YouTube. Okay, well, maybe I wasn't that worried, but nevertheless. As you can see here, we kind of went all out because we wanted to treat our friends. Since they helped us so much over the weekend with all the festivities. Definitely one of the things we noticed when we were out here in BGC is that people love their dogs. Like, there were a number of times we went by a little park, not just the Circle Park, and it was just packed with dogs and their owners just all hanging out. It's pretty cool. So coming home from this weekend, absolutely stuffed, eating so much food every single day at the malls, the little restaurants, our big event. Yeah, time to burn off some calories and see if we can get this page done. This is page 6 of Wildcat, the little anthology short story I'm doing, and it's time to introduce the man himself. There is absolutely no introduction whatsoever in the story why he's in a van and why he has to make an escape. We'll just hint at that in the dialogue, maybe, or maybe that's not even important to have a fun story. But yeah, I finally get to draw the big guy, and it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, what can I say? I think I'll just leave the video from here on out, so you can watch me draw a little bit in real time, a little bit of a time lapse, and see how the Wildcat is going to come out. Of course, be sure to hit like and subscribe if you'd like to stay tuned. There will be more Wildcat news coming up. Of course, I will continue my making of Phosphor series here on YouTube if you're interested in my own comic book. And yeah, feel free to check out some of the links down below. If you'd like to check out my new Ko-fi store, I've already given up on TikTok. It's just too... I think I got the hang of making videos by take 5. I've got like 5 videos up. But there's, I don't know, like maybe the target age is a little too young for my tastes. I just find it a little too hectic just to look around when you're just bombarded with these really short videos. I'm not quite sure if it's my thing, but that's just me. There's some cool stuff on there for sure. I'll find my way around it eventually, I guess. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.